The hangar bay of Station Epsilon 7 reeked of ozone and burnt metal. Kayla stood with her arms crossed, her violet scales shimmering under the harsh industrial lights as she glared at the small human hunched over her pride and joy. The Varanthi warrior had traveled halfway across the galaxy to reach this backwater station, and now her fate rested in the hands of this primate. "You are certain you can repair a Stormwing-class combat dragon?" Kyla's voice dripped with skepticism. "Your species barely understands fusion drives, let alone biomechanical neural networks." The human didn't look up from the massive mechanical dragon sprawled across the hangar floor. Its obsidian scales were scorched, one wing hung at an unnatural angle, and its optical sensors flickered weakly. Duran ran his calloused hand along the dragon's titanium ribcage, his weathered face unreadable. "Ma'am, I've been working on engines since before you hatched," Duran said quietly, his Earth accent thick and unhurried. "Dragon, starship, hoverbike, machinery's machinery." Kayla's crest flared indignantly. "This is not mere machinery. This is Shadowfire, a fifth-generation combat dragon bonded to my neural pattern. Its systems are more complex than anything your primitive world has produced." Duran finally turned to face her, his gray eyes patient but firm. "Then why'd you bring it to my shop?" The question hung in the air like a challenge. Kyla's jaw tightened. The truth was that every Varanthi mechanic within 3 sectors had refused the job. The damage was too extensive, they said. The neural lattice too fragile. One wrong move and Shadowfire would be reduced to expensive scrap. But she would never admit that to this human. "Because," she hissed, "you were the only option available. Do not mistake necessity for confidence in your abilities." Duran nodded slowly and returned his attention to the dragon. "Fair enough. Give me 3 days." 3 days? Kayla's laugh was sharp and mocking. "Master Technician Varash estimated 6 weeks minimum, and he's worked on combat dragons for 40 cycles." "Then go find Varash," Duran said without emotion, already pulling a diagnostic scanner from his toolkit. Kayla opened her mouth to deliver another cutting remark, but stopped herself. She had no other options. With a frustrated growl, she spun on her heel and stalked toward the hangar exit. 3 days, human. If Shadowfire is not flight-ready, I will ensure the guild hears of your incompetence." The door hissed shut behind her, leaving Duran alone with the wounded dragon. He sighed, scratching his stubbled chin, then leaned close to Shadowfire's head. The dragon's eye flickered, and a weak rumble emanated from its chest. "Yeah, buddy," Duran murmured. "I know she's a real charmer. Let's get you fixed up and show her what humans can do." For the next 72 hours, Duran barely slept. He worked with the methodical precision of a surgeon and the intuition of an artist. The Varanthi had designed their combat dragons with elegant complexity, neural pathways that required perfect synchronization, energy matrices that demanded flawless calibration. But they had also over-engineered them, adding layers of redundancy that actually created new failure points. Duran simplified. He rerouted power through secondary conduits, bypassed 3 damaged neural nodes by creating a human-designed bridge circuit, and reinforced the damaged wing with a hybrid alloy of his own invention. Part Varanthi composite, part Earth steel. It wouldn't win any design awards from the Dragon Mechanist Guild, but it would fly. Kayla returned on the morning of the 4th day, expecting to find excuses and failure. Instead, she found Shadowfire standing upright in the hangar, wings fully extended, optical sensors glowing with bright amber intensity. Her breath caught. "That's impossible." Duran wiped grease from his hands with an old rag, his expression tired but satisfied. "Run a diagnostic, full neural interface check." Kayla approached cautiously, extending her hand to touch Shadowfire's snout. The moment contact was made, her pupils dilated as the neural link established. Data flooded her consciousness, power levels at 96%, flight systems nominal, weapon arrays functional, structural integrity actually stronger than before the damage. "How?" she whispered, genuinely shocked. "The neural lattice was shattered. Varash said it would take specialized equipment from the homeworld to—" "Wasn't shattered," Duran interrupted, "just fragmented. I built a bridge using adaptive algorithms. Won't work exactly like the original, but your dragon learns fast. Give it a few flights and the neural pattern will optimize itself." Kayla stared at him, her earlier arrogance crumbling. The wing reinforcement, this alloy isn't in any Vernathi database. Duran shrugged. Because I invented it 3 days ago. Your composites are great for energy distribution, but terrible for impact resistance. Added some earth materials. Should hold up better in combat. For a long moment, Kyla said nothing. She ran her hand along Shadowfire's restored wing, feeling the perfect tension in the new cables, the smooth articulation of the joints. This human had accomplished in 3 days what her people's best mechanics said was impossible. And he'd done it by breaking every rule in the Mechanists' Guild handbook. I was wrong, Kayla said quietly, the admission clearly difficult. About you. About humans. Duran packed his tools with the same unhurried efficiency he brought to everything. Folks usually are. You're not the first to mistake simple for stupid, and you won't be the last. I insulted you, Kayla continued, her voice firmer now. Questioned your competence, yet you still repaired Shadowfire to perfection. Why? Duran looked up, meeting her eyes directly. Because that dragon needed help, and I could give it. Your opinion of me didn't change what needed to be done. Kayla felt her crest lower in a gesture of respect. How much do I owe you? Standard rate, 75 credits per hour plus materials. She transferred double the amount without hesitation. For your skill, and for the lesson in humility. As Shadowfire's engines hummed to life and Kayla prepared to depart, she paused at the hangar entrance. Duran, if you ever want to work on more combat dragons, the Vernathi fleet would benefit from your expertise. The human mechanic smiled for the first time since she'd met him. Appreciate the offer, ma'am, but I like it here. Simpler. Kayla nodded, understanding in a way she hadn't 3 days ago. As she and Shadowfire launched into the star-filled void, she made a mental note to tell every Vernathi warrior she knew about the human mechanic who had accomplished the impossible. Not through superior technology or advanced training, but through stubborn ingenuity and the refusal to accept that anything was truly unfixable. Sometimes she realized the most advanced solution was the simplest one, delivered by the species everyone underestimated.